81 years old, and 2 years ago, I fell in love. Not the quiet, comfortable kind of love you settle into because you're tired of being alone. Real love. The kind that makes you nervous before a phone call. The kind that makes you laugh at things that aren't even funny. And when I tell people that, they say, "You were lucky, Margaret." No, I wasn't lucky. I was paying attention. Because good people, kind people, people who deserved love, spend the last chapters of their lives alone. Not because nobody wanted them, but because they were doing things quietly, invisibly, without even realizing it, that were pushing love away every single time it got close. And I almost did the same thing. If you are over 60 and you are wondering why love hasn't found you or why it keeps leaving, I want you to stay with me today because I'm going to tell you 7 things you need to stop doing. And the last one, the 7th one,
The first thing you need to stop doing is waiting until you feel ready. Ready to date again. Ready to put yourself out there. Ready to let someone see you. The real you. The older you. The you that has been through things. I understand it. After loss, after divorce, after years of building a life alone, the idea of opening yourself up again feels terrifying. So we wait. We tell ourselves, when the kids stop needing me, when I lose the weight, when I feel more like myself again.
I watched my dear friend Constance do this for 11 years after her husband passed. 11 years of almost joined the church group, almost went on the date her niece arranged. Almost. She passed in 2019, still waiting to feel ready. Here's what I know now. Readiness is not something that arrives. It's something you decide. You will never feel completely ready to be vulnerable again. That feeling doesn't come before courage. It comes because of it. The second thing to stop, and this one is more common than people admit, is going into every interaction trying to prove you are worth loving. We dress it up as putting our best foot forward. But what it really is performance. You spend the whole dinner showing them your highlights, your travels, your children's accomplishments, how busy you are, how full your life is. And the other person sits across from you and thinks, there's no room for me in this life. I did this. After my first marriage ended, I went on dates like they were job interviews. I was so afraid of being rejected that I never actually showed up. I showed up a version of me that was polished and impressive and exhausting to maintain. Nobody falls in love with a highlight reel. They fall in love with the moment you admit you don't have it all figured out. The moment you laugh at yourself. The moment you reach across the table and say, I'm nervous too. Stop auditioning. Start arriving. The third thing, and I say this with all the gentleness I have, stop leading with your damage. We've all been hurt. Every person over 60 sitting across from you on a first date has a story of loss, of betrayal, of disappointment. That is the price of a life fully lived. But there is a difference between being honest about your past and making your past the whole conversation. I knew a man, Gerald, wonderful man, sharp as a tack, generous to his bones.
But within 20 minutes of meeting anyone new, you knew everything about what his ex-wife had done to him. Every date, every coffee, every conversation eventually circled back to her, to what she took, to how she lied, to how he never really recovered. He thought he was being open. What he was doing was telling every new person, I am not available. She still lives here. Your story matters. Your wounds are real, but they are not your identity. The person in front of you is not responsible for what the last one did. Don't make them pay that debt.
This one is especially for the women, though the men do it too. Stop pretending you want less than you actually want. Oh, I'm not looking for anything serious. I'm very independent. I don't need much. I just want some companionship. We say these things because we've been taught by failed relationships, by well-meaning friends, by a culture that tells older women in particular to take up less space. That wanting real love at this age is somehow embarrassing, greedy even. So we negotiate ourselves down before anyone even asks us to. I had a neighbor, Dorothy, 74 years old, beautiful inside and out. She met a man she genuinely adored. And for 2 years, she accepted whatever scraps of his time and attention he offered. No holidays together, no meeting the family, no real commitment, because she kept telling herself, at my age, this is enough. At my age, I should be grateful. She wasn't grateful. She was lonely inside a relationship, which is one of the loneliest places there is. Know what you want. Say what you want. The right person will not be frightened by a woman or a man who knows their own worth.
And I say this as a mother. Stop letting your children's discomfort become your permission slip for staying alone. Your children love you. I believe that. But loving you and knowing what is best for you are two very different things. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes, a child who discourages their parent from dating again is not doing it for you. They're doing it out of grief, out of loyalty to the parent who is gone, out of the strange, complicated fear that if you love someone new, it means the old love didn't count. It did count. It always will. I have seen mothers give up real companionship, real happiness, because one of their children wasn't comfortable with it. And then that same child moves across the country, builds their own life, visits twice a year, and mother sits in the house that is too quiet. You raised them. You loved them through every phase of their becoming. You are allowed to have a phase of your own. Your happiness is not a betrayal of your family. It is a gift to them, because a parent who is living fully is a parent who has something to give.
Have I lost count? I think I'm in number 6. Yeah. Stop chasing the feeling of what you already know. After a long marriage, good or bad, we develop a very specific picture of what love feels like. How it sounds, how it moves through a house, what it smells like in the morning. And when we meet someone new, we hold them up against that picture, unconsciously, without meaning to. And if they don't match, if they laugh differently, if they communicate differently, if they love differently, we feel nothing. We call it no chemistry. Sometimes it is no chemistry, but sometimes, and I want you to sit with this, sometimes what we're calling no spark is actually just unfamiliarity. And we've spent so many decades with familiarity that we've confused it for the only love we're capable of feeling. The man I love now is nothing like my first husband. Nothing. Different temperament, different humor, different rhythm entirely. If I had dismissed him because he didn't feel like what I already knew, I would have walked past the greatest love of my life. Don't mistake the echo of an old love for the sound of no love at all. And now, number 7, the one I told you about at the beginning, the one that doesn't look like a problem. Stop protecting yourself so well that love cannot get in. After everything we've been through, the losses, the heartbreaks, the years of learning to be enough on our own, we become very, very good at self-protection. We build routines that don't require anyone. We become proud of our independence. We stop needing people in ways that feel dangerous. And it looks like strength. It feels like wisdom. People even admire us for it. But here is what I have learned, standing on this side of 81 years. A wall that keeps pain out keeps everything out. I spent years after my divorce telling myself I was protecting my peace. And I was. But I was also protecting myself from every moment of joy, surprise, tenderness, and belonging that requires another person to exist. The greatest risk in loving someone is that they might leave, that they might hurt you, that you might lose them. You know what the cost of not risking that is? You lose them anyway. You just lose them before they ever arrive. The bravest thing a person over 60 can do is not to have survived this long. It's to remain open after everything that tried to close them.
I've watched too many people I love leave this world carrying unlived love inside them. Not because love wasn't available, but because they convinced themselves, sensibly, reasonably, understandably, that it was too late, too complicated, too risky, too embarrassing. None of those things are true. What is true is this. You have a finite amount of mornings left. I don't say that to frighten you. I say it because it is the most clarifying fact I know. When you understand that your time is not unlimited, you stop asking, what if this goes wrong? You start asking, what if this goes right? I am 81 years old. I wake up next to someone who makes me feel like the person I always hoped I would become. It is not perfect. We are two old people with old habits and old wounds and strong opinions about very small things. But it is real, and it is mine. And if any part of what I've said today felt like I was talking directly to you, I was. You are not too old. You are not too broken. You are not too late. You have more left to give than you know. And somewhere, there is someone who would be transformed by receiving it. If this reached you today, I'd love to know which one of these 7 hit the closest to home. Leave it in the comments. I read every single one. And sometimes just naming the thing out loud is the first step to letting it go. If you're on a journey of living and loving on your own terms after 60, subscribe. That's exactly what we talk about here. I'll see you in the next one.